Welcome to Omhint. My name is Vino Nityananda.
And my name is Pandit Jagannath Cassidy.
So, Pandit, there's something that I come across often. People have a problem with fear holding them back in their lives. It's either something that is like a limiting emotion, or sometimes it's really debilitating. So it either sort of really slows them down, it becomes a real obstacle in their life, or at times it even debilitates them. They just won't do something,
Right.
Can you shed some light on that?
Certainly. So there's a story I'd like to share, a few actually. One of them comes from the Katha Upanishad.
Okay.
So this is an ancient text. Upanishads is philosophical works.
Right.
So these deal with lots of interesting subject matters.
Yes. These are part of the Vedas.
Yes, this is part of the Vedas.
Yeah, the word Veda means books of knowledge, actually.
This is part, books of ancient knowledge.
This is the most ancient knowledge that's available in the broadest range of knowledge available in this world. Yes.
People have been asking these questions for a long time. I often say that mankind's technology has changed over the years, but mankind himself hasn't.
Yeah. Right.
So the thing is that things that worked on the psychological and spiritual level, they're eternal, because these are questions that people have wondered and thought about for as long as we've been around.
Right.
And so these are ancient knowledge that people came to conclusions.
Right.
In ages when people were a little bit more in themselves, I guess you could say. Now we're so far out in outer space with our brain,
Right.
So the Katha Upanishad is a story about, there's a story about Natikecha.
Okay.
So Natikecha is the son of Rishi, and he had some questions in his mind. He ended up going to the world of the king of the dead. There's a king of the dead, his name is Yamaraj.
Okay.
So he's in charge of, when it's the person's appointed time, then he goes around and he collects the souls.
Right.
So he was out doing that, and Natikecha, he's this a young boy, he was waiting at the gate of the other world. He wasn't dead or anything, but he wanted to visit him, like how you might visit a king.
Right.
And no one came out to greet him. So he was sitting and waited for 3 days, which is a long time.
Oh, yes. For a guest to wait for 3 days for the host.
Yeah. That's a very long time. He was sitting outside of his gate. And so when Yamaraj came back, Yama is also the deity which is in charge of Dharma, which is social religious principles. You know what I mean?
Yes. Righteousness.
Things like that.
Right.
So when he came back, he was like, oh my God, this guest has been waiting outside my door for 3 days. He felt very embarrassed.
Yes.
He's a very classy guy. So he was like, I want to offer you 3 boons in reward for you staying and waiting for 3 days, as a way to kind of make up for that.
Right, to compensate.
Compensate, yes.
3 days of waiting. That's a long time to wait.
Yeah, that's a long time. So Natikecha said, I want to have peace and harmony in my home life and with my family.
Right.
So Yamaraj said, Tatastu, that's granted. Then he said, I want to know the secret of Agnihotra.
Agnihotra.
Yes, so Agnihotra is this ancient ritual which still can be used today. They've been actually doing scientific tests with it, and it dissipates radiation.
Oh, wow.
It also... they've been doing places where they do the Agnihotra, and they plant seeds in just sand, beach sand.
Beach sand.
Beach sand, where there's salt water.
Yeah.
They plant fruit tree seeds.
Right.
Like mango and stuff in the beach sand.
Right.
And it just grows.
Wow.
And it produces, in the sand, it grows and it produces fruit year round.
Wow. It's amazing. Because of the Agnihotra.
Yeah, they do it right nearby. They don't even put any,
It's very valuable.
Yes, it's an ancient technology people used to use, and it's very amazing. There's nothing too scary, complicated about it.
So we should teach that.
Yes, we actually we plan on filming some and teaching people like how to do it, because it'd be great if people could do that. I've done it I've lived on farms and done it and increased and taught people how to do it on farms.
Wow.
and I've seen amazing results actually.
Wonderful.
And I think anybody could do it, and it's good for psychology as well. They call it homotherapy.
Really?
Yeah, and people that are suffering depression or all kinds of problems.
Homotherapy.
Homotherapy.
Homa means a type of a fire sacrifice, like that, using fire for purification.
So people that are suffering from mental problems or disturbances, if they do it, then it'll clear the mind.
Right.
What, how does they say? Proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
This is something that you don't have to have faith in it. You just sit there and things happen.
Wow.
It's a direct effect. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It doesn't depend on belief?
Yeah, no. I've literally I've done this ritual at well, not parties, but people have had spiritual gatherings, and there's all kinds of people there.
Right.
I've had people tell me that after it was done, they said, I believe in God now.
Wow. Believe in God?
Now,
Whoa.
yes.
That's amazing.
They were atheists before.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they sat at the fire, and they said, I believe in God now.
Wow.
Because it's direct perceptual experience. There's no, you can come into any mind frame, and you're going to have results because it's direct experience.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's something. So he wanted to know the secrets of the Agnihotra. So he gave it to him.
Gave it to him too. So that was the second boon he got.
That was the second boon
from the rishi.
Yeah.
By the way, the word rishi means a spiritual seer.
Yeah.
A person who is spiritually advanced.
Yes.
Is called a rishi.
So he's the son of Natikecha is the son of a rishi. So Yamaraj was giving these boons.
Yes.
So the third boon that he asked, Natikecha said, "Now you're the person that can answer my question, and if there's anybody that can."
Okay.
This world is filled with death. People are constantly being born. People are constantly dying.
Right.
In order even to live, one entity eats another.
Right.
You know what I mean? The animals eats the other animal. Some people eat the plant. It's constant.
Right.
Happening.
Right.
All over the place.
Right.
So is there a world beyond death?
Wow, a world beyond death.
Yes, I want to know if there's a world
where
beyond,
there is no death.
Where there is no death.
Oh wow.
I want to know if there's a world beyond death.
Yes, yes.
Because they have an almost ancient cultures.
Right.
Almost all of them understood about the immortality of the soul.
Right, right.
And that means reincarnation and things like that.
It's high intelligence.
Yes.
Basically, when you come to the level of high intelligence, these are the types of issues that actually are some things that we become very interested in.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So the thing is that, they understood about the reincarnation and the immortality of the soul, but is there a world where you can be beyond the birth and death?
Right, right.
And you would know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's the one that killed me.
He's the one who'd determine when someone's life was over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you would know.
Right.
So, and also, there's some parallelisms, which I might get into. They have the deity of, in ancient Egypt, they have Anubis. Anubis. He's a jackal-headed deity. Sometimes you might have seen pictures.
Yes, I've seen that.
He's oftentimes depicted holding a scale. So there's a scale there.
Right.
And on the one side is a feather.
Okay.
And the other side is a heart.
Okay.
This is the soul of the person.
The human heart.
Yeah.
That actually represents the spiritual heart, which is where the soul is sitting. It's in the center. The heart, physical heart is a little to the left.
Right.
But the spiritual heart is in the center.
It's usually depicted as a heart with fire.
With fire. Oh, okay, wow.
So that's like
wonderful.
A spiritual,
Amazing.
So it's sitting there on the scale. So Anubis, he weighs your heart on the feather of truth.
I see.
And the feather of truth is like what the word, some people might misconstrue this, but what the feather of truth is like, truth like as in Dharma.
Truth as in Dharma.
Yes.
Okay.
These principles are very universal.
Yes.
They have something in ancient Egyptian theology called the mat.
The mat.
And also, so this is something like the truth.
I see.
It's like what we would call Dharma.
Ah, yes.
So it's it regulates and rules over all things.
Right, right.
So he would weigh the heart against this feather of truth. And how much were you in line with your truth?
Right.
It's not so much the little details,
right.
But how, did you live your life according to that truth that you were born with?
Yeah, because Dharma does mean the essential truth also. it means the essence of all truths. For example, the dharma of sugar is to be sweet. If you take the sweetness away from the sugar, it's no longer sugar if it is not sweet.
Right, exactly.
So dharma means its essential truth. It's essential constitutional position.
Right.
Like that. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah.
So so if the soul, if the heart was heavier than the feather, then they cast it to this dragon, this monster, which represented going back into the material maws of the material world. You know?
Oh wow, the jaws of the material world.
Yeah, the beast that eats the soul, right? So then, but if they were good, then they would go to the realm beyond death.
Oh wow.
So that's the...
There goes a high planetary system where they learn about things that will allow them to go back to the spiritual world.
Yeah, exactly. If you know, I do a lot of astrology, and so the cosmology, you know, there's different lokas. The different stars are considered to be lokas, or realms in the sky. Yeah. And the place that they said they went, it corresponds to where Brahma Loka is in this realm. Yeah.
Amazing how the truth always comes back to the same essential truths again, you know.
Yeah.
The essence is the same.
These are, like I said, these are things that people have always asked. Yeah. And through various means, they came to conclusions, you know. And so it's pretty universal truth, you know what I mean?
I see that. Often people speak from different cultures, but they always come back to what are the Vedic truths, you know. What the Vedas actually have pronounced. So clearly. People come back to it ultimately anyway, and it shows that we're actually quite unified as creation. We're a unified creation. It's
I pretty much call it the universal religion of man. Like, you know, you look in so many ancient cultures.
Universal truths.
I mean, it's so many ancient cultures around the world, more or less. I mean, it's amazing the parallelisms that they have. Amazing, especially about these spiritual things, you know. So it's a similar kind of thing, you know. He's asking about the world beyond death.
Death, yes.
So Yamaraj said, you know, the thing is, this is a very deep question. And to answer this question, not everybody's ready for it. Right. You know, that's a very, your life might be totally different.
Upended.
You hear this. So the thing is, I'm going to tell you, look, I'll give you, make it so you don't die. Right. I'll give you something else. You don't want this. Right. I'll make it so you don't die. Okay. And also I'll give you wealth. And so much material enjoyment. Right.
So you can have a really good time.
You can have a really good time. You can have all kinds of, you know, so it's like, things. All kinds of the different bhagya, you know? Bhagya means fortunes.
Fortunes, opulences.
Opulences,
Right.
So I'll give you these things. So he says, so Natikecha, he's a smart boy. He's the son of a rishi.
He's son of a rishi, so he's smart. Yeah, exactly.
Says, you know, you told me. Yeah. This is actually from the Madhvacharya commentary. He's a great acharya.
Yeah, great acharya.
So it's very interesting. You read the different teachers. An
acharya is a spiritual preceptor. For those who don't know what an acharya is, a spiritual preceptor of a very, very high order. Yes, go ahead.
So he said that Natikecha, he says, you know, the thing is, you told me eternal life. Yeah. But you didn't say eternal youth. So if I die, I say I can live forever, but if I just keep on getting old, that's more like hell.
Exactly.
You can imagine like being 200 years old and like, come
2,000 years old.
Right. So that's
not going to cut it.
That's not going to cut it. Yeah. I'd rather
smart boy.
I'd rather just know the truth.
Yeah. Please.
So Yama says like this. He says, you know, so he says the soul. He gives the example of the chariot. This is an ancient example. It's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. It's mentioned in other places. Right. He says that think of the chariot like, you know, in the Ben-Hur movie or something like that. They got the chariot and there's the horses in the front and the wheels. Yeah. And there's a driver and then there's a passenger.
That's right.
So the thing is that the soul is like the passenger
In the chariot.
In
sitting
the chariot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sitting in the chariot. The chariot is the body.
Right.
The horses that pull it are like the senses.
Ah.
The driver is like the intelligence,
Right.
and the reins is the mind.
Right.
And there's two wheels. One is action and one is destiny. So the thing is that this is mentioned in the Udyoga Parva of Mahabharata. You know, Mahabharata is so vast.
Yeah, it's so
Bhagavad
vast.
Gita is a special part, but so
Yes.
much of it is useful.
Yes.
The more you read, the more you'll know.
Yes.
So there's this part where Krishna is explaining to the Pandavas. This is before he goes out to try and negotiate peace.
Right.
And he explains that the wheels of action and destiny both have to spin to move forward.
Right.
Somebody can have destiny to be great man,
Yes.
but if he's lazy, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, he won't be able to fully utilize his
Yeah,
destiny.
he won't be able to fully utilize
He'll
that.
get something.
He'll
but
get something, yeah.
Not enough.
And then some people, they have a lot of passion to get things
Right.
done.
Yeah.
But it's just
But destiny is not supporting.
it's destiny is not,
Not
supporting. We have free will and destiny,
Yeah.
and when they both align, then things get going.
Because destiny also comes from the past, in the sense that
Yeah.
it's past action
Right,
for which
exactly.
the fruits were not given, and now the
Right.
fruits are coming later.
Exactly.
So it is something
So
that you have deserved.
right, exactly. So
Yes.
a lot of times I see the people still have. A lot of times, maybe in another. Sometimes you can see past lives in the
Right.
chart.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes what I'll see when I'm doing a chart for somebody is they have a lot of the ambition left from their other life.
Yes.
But the thing was they misuse that power that they were given in the other life.
Right.
So in this life, it's like the karmic reaction is you're really not going to get that far.
Yeah. Unless you make some corrections.
Yes.
The corrections are
But
made, then of course
there's
things will happen.
remedies. Then there's remedies.
There are remedies,
There's
yeah.
remedies because the thing is you did something dumb in your other life.
Yes, exactly.
So there's things you can do. It kind of fixes
to
it.
correct it. Yeah.
Yes, because you can. It's a way of atoning.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the thing. You know,
Yes. And recalibrating. So that you have the
yes.
right attitude and do the right thing.
Yes, and
Okay, good.
yeah, exactly. But it's important to focus on the good things.
Yes.
But what is bad, it's important to fix too.
Yes, yes.
So, see, this is the example that Yama is giving, the chariot that goes forward.
Right.
So he says the thing is that if you both wheels, if you control the reins of the horses
Right.
with intelligence
Right.
and the mind,
Right.
the senses. It's very interesting, but the mind is the things that we attach ourselves to.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if they're emotions.
Yes.
The intelligence is very rational.
That's rational. Yeah. The other one is more. The mind is more attachments and aversions.
Yes, yes.
What do I like? What do I not like? So it's accepting and rejecting.
Yeah, it's accepting
based
and
on
rejecting.
one's experience. Like
And philosophically, I was told this and explained to this, and I think this is very good. The mind should be anchored to something through sneha, which is attachment.
Yes.
Strong attachment, you can attach it to the transcendental.
yes.
This is
something positive. Something good.
positive. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And that kind of carries that
Yes.
controls our horses.
Right. Right.
The thing is that a lot of times people, it's the donut shop, right?
Right.
Do not.
Yeah.
Really, that doesn't control the mind half as well as when you give the mind something sweet to focus on.
That's true. A higher taste.
A higher taste.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes.
Then that controls the horses.
Yes.
Because the mind is like, look, senses, I know you want to enjoy, but here's something really nice to enjoy. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's giving it the good food.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Something sweet. Then the lesser.
Because naturally the senses want to enjoy it.
Yes, yes.
You know, in fact, in the Vedas it is said the purpose of life is to be happy and to give happiness to others, you know, to give happiness to others. So enjoying is natural. It's natural to have pleasure in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes.
So he's explaining this, and he says the other thing is, and this gets to your question,
Right.
and we're getting to that.
Right.
All this leads up.
Leading up to it. Yeah.
All this is leading up. When people are afraid of me, then they do all kinds of stupid things.
Yama is speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
When they're
Yama
afraid
is
of death.
speaking.
When they're afraid of death.
When they're afraid of death,
Yes.
they do all kinds of stupid things to try and become immortal.
To avoid death.
To avoid death. They'll sign up to anything that promises them some kind of relief, but it's never going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the thing is that when we understand that it's the fear of death itself which is preventing us from going forward.
Right.
Death is you can consider death the root of all fear, really.
Yes, it's the biggest.
It's the biggest fear.
It's the emperor of all fears.
It's the emperor of all fears. It's the source, too, of a lot of the fears.
It is the source, yeah.
And
it brings about ignorance,
it brings about ignorance and all these things. And it's really important for us to be able to realize that it's the fear itself of death which is holding us back. When fear conquers your mind, it makes you incapable of action.
I see.
There's this, so a lot of this has to do with attitude. So I'm going to tell a very quick little story having to do with how to deal with that fear. Because there's one thing to say, don't be afraid, but let's get some practicalities.
Right.
Or how is that even beneficial? Some people still scared.
Right.
So this is a very quick little story. This is from Zen Buddhism, but it's very applicable.
Nice.
So there was one general, and he had an army. And I don't think it was maybe 10,000 guys. And they were traveling, and they were going to fight an army that was 10 times as big.
Wow.
Now, his soldiers were very worried. Now
They're outnumbered.
Outnumbered and very worried.
I see.
Very scared. I mean, naturally, if you're going to outnumber 10 to 1, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So he goes over, and as they're traveling to the battle, they come to this temple. Now, in the temple, the general gets out and walks in, and he says, he comes out with a coin. And he says, the priests of the temple, they tell me that this coin, it will always tell the truth. It will always tell the truth, and it's always going to, so if I flip it, if it lands on heads, it's yes. And if it lands on tails, it's no.
I see.
So I'm going to test the coin, and I'm going to ask if we're going to win the battle.
Right.
So the thing is, if it says we aren't, we can all go home.
Right.
But if it says yes, we're going to win. So we have to go and fight.
Yes.
So they're like, okay. So he flips the coin, and it's yes.
Yes.
So they're all like, yeah.
Yeah.
This prophecy coin, it told us the truth.
Right.
We're going to win. Let's go.
Let's go.
So they head out, and they start fighting, because this is the important thing. And this works with battles. This works with psychology. This works with almost everything.
Yes.
If you have something that's your opponent, you don't have to win as much as just not give up before them.
Right. That's true. That is actually true.
It's the guy that gives up second.
Right.
That is you know what I mean?
Yes,
you just want the other side to give up before you.
Yes.
You don't have to totally cream them.
Yes.
You just got to keep on going till the other side gives up.
This is a very powerful principle for success.
Yes.
Very nice.
So the thing is that so many of the greatest generals just had nerves.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And they could pass that on to their men.
Right.
They knew they were going to win.
Right.
And this is the thing why positive thinking is so important. Because it's not so much, it's you being so positive, it goes to your surroundings. If you go into something thinking you're going to lose, you're going to lose.
Right.
This is why pessimism never works.
Right.
Optimism and realism.
Right.
Idealism is also very destructive.
Yeah.
Optimism and realism combined gets the most results.
Right. Right.
So his men were enthused. They knew they were going to win. You notice this? They knew they were going to win. So they were fighting, even though they're outnumbered 10 to 1. And pretty soon the other enemy was like, holy crap, they're outnumbered, but they're not. They're enthusiastic.
Right.
So the other side, they ran away.
Right. It was a mindset.
It was a mindset. It's an attitude
had a
issue.
mindset,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. It's an attitude
And especially
issue.
when you apply it to things that are dharmic, in the sense that you are trying to pursue the truth.
Right,
You're going to
exactly.
win. Now, if you're not pursuing the truth, you may fail because of the fact that nature may not support you, and that may work against you as well.
Exactly.
It's not
Well,
like
that's the
we
truth.
do things alone.
Right,
We
no.
also do things with other support, especially nature.
Exactly.
Mother Nature is supporting.
Yes.
The Lord is supporting. So these are very key issues for us.
This is very key.
Yes.
No, it's very true.
Very good.
And so so they won, and the other side, they
Ran away.
They ran away. The general came out. They said, look, it's true. Just see. The prophecy is true. The coin was right. The general picks the coin up and says, it was the same on both sides.
It's yes on both sides.
Yeah.
On both sides.
It's yes on both sides. There's an ancient saying by Confucius. He was a philosopher. He says, the man that says he can and the man that says he can't are both right.
Right. Henry Ford said the similar thing. He would say that if you think you can, and if you think you can't, you can't.
Right.
So it's really, what do you think? What are you going to?
It's funny, but the great men in history, the great men, women, and that in history that have done, they have this kind of attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he said a little differently. He said that if you think you can, you probably can, and if you think you can't, you probably can't.
Right, right.
So, the probabilities really depend on your attitude a lot.
Yes, so much.
And even in my, when I do leadership training, it's the first thing I ask people to get correct is the attitude. If the attitude is not right, then not much is going to happen down the line like that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that it's so important for us to have this proper attitude. And getting back to something that you mentioned there, and I think it's important to say, a lot of times when I do charts, there's a certain condition with Saturn, which causes people to have a lot of self-doubt. Yes. And this is related to fear.
Fear, yes.
And this kind of can cross over into fear.
Right, right.
And so the self-doubt thing, it's very important for you to to find that thing that you believe in.
Really believe in.
That you really believe in.
Absolutely. It's got to be something that is a real affinity for you. Something you really want to do.
Right.
That's one more thing that I talk in my leadership thing, that you must know what you really want in your life.
Yeah.
What are your affinities, and learn about things from others as well, so that you can figure it out.
Yes, it is so important to have somebody else.
Yes.
This is why it's so important to just get feedback from other people, because you can't. First of all, it's selfish just to think you're by yourself.
Right. Exactly.
And secondly, you know a lot more.
Right.
It doesn't mean you surrender your will to others.
Absolutely.
No sane person would suggest that.
No.
But what I'm suggesting is you can learn from others and get perspective, so you yourself can make a good, well-informed and well-rounded choice.
You can consult,
Yes, exactly.
And in that sense, going back to the coin, I often speak about how in life there are opportunities and challenges. And opportunity is like the head side of the coin, and challenge is like the tail side of the coin.
Right.
If someone's going to give you a gold coin, would you accept it only if it's head side up, or would you accept it even if it's tail side up?
Right,
you'd accept it both ways, right?
Both.
Because the reason is that even in opportunities, there are going to be some challenges. And in challenges, there's going to be opportunities as well. Most businesses that make a lot of money actually make money because they're sorting out challenges, solving challenges that people have.
Right.
And as a result of that, they make a lot of money from that. And so in life, it's good to know that both opportunities and challenges are the same thing, but from different perspectives, coming from different perspectives. And if you learn to see it in the right way, then great things can happen in life.
I had this cathartic moment recently where I realized that I wouldn't be who I was if it wasn't for the challenges that have happened in my life. And so in that sense, it's almost like a gift. It really is like a gift.
Yeah.
It creates character.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If you have the right attitude about it. The thing is, this goes a little bit into forgiveness. I know this is a tangent, but it's very important.
Sure.
Forgiveness is for yourself. It's not for the other person.
No, that's true.
So many bad things happen to us.
Right.
But the thing is that they're there to grow us as people. And to really show our character.
Right. Very good.
And so a lot of times fear is caused by problems that have happened in the past.
Yes.
And really it's learning to look at them from a new angle.
Absolutely.
That you can kind of neutralize the fear that's associated with that.
It's also the correct angle.
Right.
Looking at it from the right angle instead of from an angle that actually is harmful.
Right, of shame, guilt, and pain.
Right.
You switch the vision.
Right, absolutely. The attitude also.
Yes,
wonderful.
The attitude.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. That was a wonderful.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that,
you could
we could talk about this. Yeah.
Thank you.